yeah, I just had this epiphany one day of like, if you could create a milk out of oats, why can't you create a spread out of oats? Let's try it. I don't know if other people would think that way, if there wasn't a screw loose.
Welcome to 5 Years in 5 Minutes, where business legends share the story before the success.
I'm Bonar. I'm Chief Vibes Officer and co-founder at Oat Haus. What is Oat Haus? So Oat Haus is a company that's allergen-free. We make food fun, we make allergen-free snacks, and our hero product is granola butter, which is the world's first oat-based spread. I think where I was with actually creating granola butter was an interesting place because I was unfortunately deep in my eating disorder, and when you restrict something and when you hold it on this pedestal like I did with many foods, you obsess over it and it becomes just something you can't stop thinking about. And so for better or for worse, that's actually what created granola butter, because I was just always in the kitchen, always experimenting, always making just weird recipes, for lack of a better word. And so that's when I had this idea that maybe I wouldn't have had if I didn't struggle with food. Yeah, I just had this epiphany one day of like, if you could create a milk out of oats, why can't you create a spread out of oats? Let's try it. I don't know if other people would think that way, if there wasn't a screw loose. But yeah, and that's where I was in my San Francisco kitchen and I just started throwing granola in a blender, and that's where the first idea came from. I think the boldest decision that we made in the first 5 years was, aside from inventing granola butter, was deciding to be the face and treat our social media presence like it was a personal diary, a personal Instagram account, almost an influencer account. I think my openness and my honesty resonated so deeply with people because when I started sharing my journey, it wasn't the way social media is now. People were posting this very curated version of their lives. They were posting the highlight reel. No one was sharing the real reel. And so I kept looking at these glossy highlight reels of everyone's lives, and I'm struggling. I am in the depths, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why am I the only one going through this? Sharing so vulnerably online really gave us an edge because, first of all, no one was really doing that at that time. I think it instantly gave us a connection, and sort of people felt like they were rooting for an underdog. They felt like they were rooting for something bigger than just the product themselves. So my journey with food really impacted the creation of Oat Haus because when I was struggling, food was so rigid. It was so stressful. It was not something I looked forward to, and yet it was something that completely controlled me. And it really was something that I felt so tense when I was around, which is so sad because food is connection, food is emotion, it's pleasure, it is creativity, and I am just so passionate about that and showing people that food that is better for you, like our product, it's allergen-free, can be fun. I just could see something clicked when people heard our product because I think what's interesting about granola butter is it's this intersection of just innovative enough, but it ties in all of this familiar nostalgia of peanut butter, granola, Americana. And so I think you have to sort of tie yourself and root yourself in something that is familiar enough where it has to click in people's minds. So I knew there was that product market fit early on, although I didn't have the national retailer data to prove it, but I just had a gut feeling that it was gonna be successful. It's so important to listen to customers and customer feedback, especially in the early days of your company when you're sort of figuring out where do we fit in, because oftentimes you can come to market with a product or an idea and your customers will completely tell you, we want you to change this into X. And then you end up morphing it, and that's when it becomes super successful and blows up. However, it's learning and discerning as the founder, what is true to us? What does the market actually want? My second piece of advice for anyone starting their business is really asking yourself why. Because again, it is the most grueling thing you'll ever do. And if your why is so you can put founder in your Instagram bio, it's not enough. Like, you're not gonna last through the storm. You're not gonna weather the storm. And it has to be bigger than yourself. It has to be bigger than making money. And so I think if you have a why that's bigger than yourself, it will keep you going. I'm Bonar. Thanks so much for listening to my story.
That's it for this episode of 5 Years in 5 Minutes.